Welcome to Deep River Farm. Well, it looks like our green beans have took a resurgency. I was letting these beans dry out. The drought that we had for about 8 weeks, we wasn't getting any moisture, and our bean pods had come in, and you can see they ain't very long at all. There's nothing really to them, so we decided we'd let them go to seed. Now the rains have come, and look here, we got new blooms. It looks like we might have another round of beans coming. Ain't that something? That's gonna be real interesting. We're just gonna see if they do any producing whatsoever. We got a whole bunch of new growth. Look at there, that's nice. We may have us another run of beans here just before too long. That'll be a good thing. Get back in here to checking on our tomatoes. We got a lot of tomatoes. The problem is, they ain't turning now. We do have a lot though, I'm gonna tell you. It's starting to look like the fall crop. You know what I mean? They coming in, and they're gonna be, showing signs of the fall's coming. The tomatoes don't get really big. They're not as big as the first round and everything. But this is our typical size tomato we've been getting right here all summer. Nothing to them. And we've been hoping that we would get something bigger. And with this rain that we've had, you can tell that the rain has actually pulled these vines over. The weight of the water and everything, has caused them to pull over. And our okra now, I want you to look. The okra is up to nearly 5 feet tall. Look at these blooms coming in here. Look at that. That's nice. We might actually have us some okra on up through there. For a long time it was stunted. I'm gonna tell you, it was 2.5, 3 foot. And then the rains came, and boom, here we go. This was the rains we were needing back in June that we didn't get. Now our pumpkins, we planted some pumpkins, remember? Well, I don't guess you would, because all them videos disappeared that we had. And right there's one of them coming up. And we planted another one over here. These are from my grandmother's pumpkin seeds. So look at there, it's coming up. We're gonna let them things run through these 2 beds. And then we did another one right over here, just outside of the strawberries. And it looks to me like it's coming up here. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. So what are you doing to get your fall garden set up? Well, we've planted some pumpkins. I'll go ahead and tell you that. We've got some pumpkins going. And we're also going to get ready in August when the sign gets right, and plant some beets. So we're gonna do some beets here. Down here in this center bed, right here, we're gonna do this whole bed in beets, and then we'll have pumpkin on the other side of it. So we got a divider in between, and we're gonna go ahead and do some beets. Probably do enough in this 4-foot bed right here to make it worthwhile. Now we may come up here, depending on how these squash do. I can tell you this plant right here is coming out. These may come on out, and we may go ahead and put some beets in this plant, and these 2 beds right here, these 2 4x4 beds, and get us a really good mess of beets for the winter time. Beets are loaded with antioxidants. They're really good for your heart. They're good to fight off cancer and things like that. So if you like beets, they're good to grow, and they're a root crop. And I'm telling you, pickled beets, what you talking about? Big old pot of plate of pinto beans and corn and beets and some onions, you ain't gonna get any better than that. That's just loaded with some good protein right there. But I just wanted to let you know what we got going. We got another squash coming on right there, and they just ain't doing real good. This drought really hurt our production this year. I'm telling you, it doesn't matter what we done. We had our soil right. We had everything was good. Everything come up. I mean, it was like a really good, ideal situation. We got everything in the ground in April on the 13th and 14th. At the earliest possible point, we was really pushing the envelope for the last frost. And we had a frost right after that. We had our tomatoes and stuff set out. And we put jugs and 5-gallon buckets over our tomatoes. And we had a few seeds that had popped out of the ground on our green beans. And they got a little bit by the frost, and we had a little area right there where you see that little gap, that little old gap right there. And that was the area that the frost nibbled on that stuff. But outside of that, the rest of it, as you can see, looks like a wall of green ivy. And we didn't have any problem. But then we had our first setback. Once our squash started coming in, we had squash bugs. And then we had them pretty bad. And it wound up taking out 3 of our squash plants. And we had everything set up. We had our squash growing up through cages. We had those, what you may want to call trellised and caged. That way they could get plenty of airflow. Everything was going real good. And then we had the no rain period of 8 weeks. And the no rain just wiped us out. We did do a little bit of watering from the garden to the garden from the well, but we're on a well out here, and we were scared to death that with that much lack of water, of what, we didn't want to run the well dry. You run the well dry, you burn the pump up. There's $1,200-$1,500 just to put the pump in yourself, and we didn't want that. So we was relying heavy. I'm gonna tell you, mulching saved the garden. We used mulch, and that helped save everything we had. And then we finally started getting the rains, and I mean it come in heavy rain too, and it ain't let up. And now we're fighting rats, and the squash bugs are back. So and I ain't talking about no little rats. If you'd had a chance to see our previous videos that disappeared, we're talking wharf rats. We're talking rats that are the size of a man's 12 double E shoe, which is mine. And we've killed 18 big ones in traps, and we've set out all kinds of stuff. We made some homemade poison. I'm gonna go over that. That way you'll have that recipe. And we went over a recipe for the squash bugs and things like that as well. We got a lot to put back on the channel that we're going to be putting out. We appreciate you ones that are subscribed to our channel for sticking with us through this difficult time. But we're going to rebuild the channel right where it sits. There was no indication of a hack. However, I've not heard a word from YouTube. I've sent out emails and posted on the forums, and no reply. So we're gonna keep plugging here. This thing was set up to help people to become more self-sufficient and be able to grow stuff for themselves. With the economy as bad as it is and the price of groceries, growing your own food is not only healthier for you and better for you, because you're not relying on the grocery store and all those pesticides and herbicides that they put in the food, but you're also able to pack it away, can it, pickle it, whatever you want to do, put up food for the winter, and save money. And that's the key to it today, because with the inflation, cost of groceries has gone up 57% this year. And it's something that we do all the time to have good, nutritious meals in the winter. But I appreciate you joining us today on Deep River Farm, and I hope y'all have a blessed day.